Hello. So I am going to be doing laundry and creating, reflecting on the affirmations from week 1 of Julia Cameron's The Artist Way. And this is the task that I'm doing. I'm in week 2 right now, but this is the task. It is dip back into week 1 and read the affirmations. Note which ones cause the most reflection. Often the one that sounds most ridiculous is the most significant. Write down 3 chosen affirmations 5 times each day in your morning pages. Be sure to include the affirmations you made from your blurts. So I'm just going to talk through it because I think that's a little bit easier for me for some reason, to talk about it, and then I'll write it down. So I'm just going to go through every affirmation and kind of say what I think about it, and if I have any, it's fine. If I have any blurts, which the way that she defines blurts is, this kind of impulsive feeling that you have about the affirmation saying that it's wrong for one reason or another. So if the affirmation is like, I am full of creative ideas, you're like, no, I'm not, because if I was, I would have done all of the creative things that I thought, which is not true. And you have to kind of look at that and say, okay, this is where I think I got this idea about myself from, and also this is what I'm going to choose to say to myself in response to that blurt. So I'll probably pick the 3 affirmations that feel the most true to me, or not the most true, but the ones that feel the most wrong. Although I'm having a really hard time with the spiritual ones, because I don't know if I have an issue with the spiritual ones because I'm uncomfortable and I need to be able to accept that as truth, and I have something in me that's neglecting the truth, or if I just don't believe in spirituality, And is that a bad thing? I don't know. I really like the philosophy around spirituality that Julia has in this book, but I'm having a really hard time accepting that as something that's true and not just something that's really nice to think about sometimes. But I'll get started. So, creative affirmations. Starting off with a bang. With number 1, I am a channel for God's creativity and my work comes to good. I like that, I think. I'm a channel for God's creativity. So I'm going to choose to think of that as creative energy is something that exists in the universe and is a spiritual energy that we as living beings have access to, which I really like. I have a really hard time thinking that way when I'm having creativity, but that's okay. And my work comes to good. I don't know what that means. I don't think that that's the same thing as saying, I don't think it's the same thing as saying that my work is good, because I don't think that that's true. And I don't think that should be, it's not my place to decide whether my work is good or not. Okay, number 2. My dreams come from God, and God has the power to accomplish them. Yeah, so that one doesn't sit well with me at all. My dreams come from God. I can get behind that. I can get behind the things that I think are interesting and inspiring come from a place that's not logical and rational, and you could make that spiritual God has the power to accomplish them. Maybe I'm going to choose to think of that in a way of, like, if there's a will, there's a way, and that... Hi, Sui. You wanna say hi? Not Siri, Sui. Say hi. Hi, Sui. Okay. God has the power to accomplish them. See, I really don't believe that. I really don't believe that... I believe that I get in the way a lot of getting things done, especially creative things, like things that I think are fun and cool and not necessarily things that I have to do. It's easier to do the things that you have to do because there's repercussions for those. And this doesn't need to be folded, so I'm not gonna fold it. But maybe that's just like pressure off of you, like if it doesn't happen then God doesn't do it. I don't like that. I think that's probably not super healthy. And God has the power to accomplish them. I think that's just a way of saying if there's something that you want to accomplish, there's a way to do it. And the way that it is going to get done is something that you just need to trust. I think I believe that. I believe that more for other people than me. Like if someone comes to me and they're like, I have this idea. Even if I think it's really bad, part of me believes that's going to work out for them, because why shouldn't it? Yeah. I'm gonna move on. As I create and listen, I will be led. I believe that. I believe that. I believe the more we pay attention, the more ideas we have, and the more we can separate ourselves from our own judgment and our own critic. I like that a lot. As I create and listen, I will be led. Yeah. I don't know if I agree so much with the create thing. I think sometimes as I create, I feel worse about everything because I'm judging everything I do and it feels wrong and bad. As I create and listen, I will be led. Yeah. Creativity is the creator's will for me. I like that. I like that. That feels like a sense of purpose to me. Creativity is the creator's will for me. See, the thing I love about this book is that it really says that not only is it okay to be creative, it's kind of imperative, and it's the human way to be creative, and to not be creative is to deny your purpose and your sense of belonging in the world. I like that a lot. Because it kind of makes it bigger than yourself. Like, you really don't have to ask yourself the question, am I worthy of being creative? Am I good enough? Because fundamentally, according to this book, you are. And it's not your job to make good art, it's your job to listen. I like that. I think take some of the pressure off. Wow, there's a lot of these. My creativity heals myself and others. Yeah, if I can get out of my own head about it. I think I don't believe that's true because in the past, in my attempts to be creative, I think I end up feeling like I've made a fool out of myself. A lot of my creative endeavors, I think people are going to see that and then take me seriously. But then what ends up happening is I get a little too in my head about it and then I quit before I've even started, but after I've kind of told everyone what I'm doing. And so I feel like people see me as lazy or overly ambitious and naive, which, you know, is fair because I'm young, and like when you're young, you're inherently naive because how else are you supposed to learn? What was I reading? My creativity heals myself and others. I think that's true. I think that I never feel more free than when I'm just doing what I impulsively would like to do. and I think it connects me with a kind of leadership that, yeah. I think the harder part with that is just that I have the right to be creative, and my creativity is inherently good, and it's not just a risk that's threatening others. Which leads to number 6, which is I'm allowed to nurture my artist. That one doesn't feel as scary to me because it's not about taking risks. It's about it's about just having creative impulses and allowing yourself to have creative thoughts and to notice things and think differently about the world than people around you. So I'm okay with that. 7. Through the use of simple tools, my creativity will flourish. I think that's a really good reminder, because I think so often things that are really important to us, we want to justify. We want to make the means to get there, or the significance of it, just as scary and daunting, and sometimes, like when we've justified not doing something that's so important to us but that could be really easy, we have to give it a really big reason why we haven't done it yet. Like I can't do the creative thing because literally everyone will hate me. Literally everyone will think I'm stupid and I'll never get any opportunities, and it's gonna live on the internet forever, or people are just gonna figure out about it and I'm gonna develop a reputation, it's gonna ruin my life, which is more a justification for why you haven't done something than a reason to not do it. So it's like cognitive dissonance. But I think that's true. I think the simpler we make it for ourselves, the more freedom we have to be creative, because creativity is an impulse, I think, a lot of the time, and the simpler we make it, the more free we are to have impulses. What's next? Oh God. Through the use of my creativity, I serve God. That's a lot. That's... I've never thought of God as a good person. And so it's weird for me to think that serving him is a good idea. I really have to like redefine how I think of God, who I think God is. Because I don't like God, like the God that I was brought up on. I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't like him that much. Through my creativity, I serve God. It makes me want to not be creative. But, yeah, I've thought about it in a way of, being creative is a gift, and to show gratitude for the gift of having creative impulses is to create. I like that. I like the idea of, you wouldn't judge someone else's creative thoughts. And so if your creative thoughts are never your own, then there's nothing getting in the way of you being grateful for those. But, serve God. I feel like that's really loaded, because in order for me to have this as an affirmation, I have to want to serve God, and that's really not a goal for me. Maybe I'll rephrase it as, through the use of my creativity, I return the gift to the universe. I show my gratitude for receiving the gift. I would rather think of it that way. My creativity always leads me to truth and love. No, I don't agree with that. My creativity leads me to fear. Like, having a creative thought is so scary because you have a creative thought and it's scary because you know it's something you want to do and you have to think about, are the people around me comfortable with me wanting to do something that they won't like? No, it's very scary to be creative, and creativity feels like me against the world. Maybe with myself, my creativity always leads me to truth and love. Maybe the point of that is creativity will lead me to truth and love, and the reason that it's so scary now is because I've been leading uncreatively, so I've surrounded myself with people that aren't ready for that. But I don't like that, because I love my friends. Maybe it's just about my relationship with myself, and I need to learn how to separate the love and truth that I feel with, yeah. We'll work on that one. That one's a good one, I think, to think about. I feel like for me, I really need to think about it. I can't just be like, that's not true, and I'm saying this thing so that it's not true. I really have to rationalize it and find a way to believe it. Okay, I'm halfway through. Well, I'm almost halfway through. My creativity leads me to forgiveness and self-forgiveness. No. To forgiveness and self-forgiveness. I think that's one that I'm gonna have to prove to myself. And I'm gonna have to look for examples to justify, to say, I really want that to be true, but I just feel in my bones that it's not. I feel like every time I am creative, it leads me to judgment of myself and others. Like, if it's bad, I'm judging myself. If it's good, I'm judging others. I don't know how to tell myself that that's not true, but that one is going in my daily affirmations, because I want that to be true, and I want to feel that in my bones. Now I'm halfway through. Okay. There is a divine plan of goodness for me. Where is it at? You okay, Stewie? You alright? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Everything's okay. There is a divine plan for goodness for me. Why? Why should there be? Why should there be? Why should there be a divine plan of goodness for me? What makes me so special? People suffer all the time. People die all the time. And it's not their fault. Why should I believe that? I mean, there's always gratitude that you're not that person. But it is such a privilege to be able to think that way. That feels so entitled. I mean, and yeah, it's a way of giving yourself permission to receive the good things that you have. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe this is, I have permission to accept the good things that fall into my lap. Despite everyone around me being fucking miserable. Moving on. That one weirds me out. Number 12. There is a divine plan of goodness for my work. I'm gonna take that the same way. That it is my right to accept the joy and opportunities that come from following my creativity. That's how I'm choosing to think of that. As I listen to the Creator within, I am led. I think that was kind of said earlier, and pretty much the same thing. Yeah, as I listen to for the same reasons, that's uncomfortable for me, but not especially uncomfortable. It's just kind of a thing that I feel. I feel very uncomfortable with the idea of being comfortable with this. Like, I feel like what makes me so special that I should deserve to think of my life this way? Like, what? I don't know. I just feel like this is the kind of thinking that could have saved a lot of people around me a lot of pain. And it feels unfair that just by thinking this way, I'm not subjecting myself to the same pain as them. And I know that that's a good thing. But it just feels unfair because the people that really deserve it, that really suffered, don't see their lives this way. And I don't understand what gives me the right to see my life this way. Anyways, as I listen to my creativity, I am led to my Creator. I think I like that. They've said that a couple times in the book, like the more creativity you express, the more you have access to. I think that's a really good attitude. Part of me feels like I don't know if that's true, but I think the last couple weeks have been proof of that. The more I've experimented with things that inspire me and bring me joy, the more I'm like, you know what else would be cool? Maybe this other thing that I like. So yeah, I agree with that. I am willing to create. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I'm willing to create. I think that would be a good thing to remind myself of, though. I'm very scared of it, but that doesn't mean I'm not willing. I'm trying. I am willing to learn and let myself create. I am willing to learn and let myself create. Sure. I'm willing to let God create through me. Yeah. I'm willing to let God create through me. I don't believe in God. That feels very weird and I guess I'm scared that I'm going to go crazy in the sense that I'm going to have this feeling like everything I do is right and can't be wrong because I am led by God, and so I can never do anything wrong. I'm really afraid of getting stuck in that, so that's really uncomfortable to me. But maybe that's where it comes in that, like, maybe God's not the good guy, he's just the guy, you know? And that's okay. And so God is, like, coming through me, and he's, like, definitely has ideas. He definitely has them. And I get to decide, you know, I'll let you express those ideas, but I'm not gonna, like, defend them till the end of time. But you can definitely, like, go through me. Maybe that's how I think about that. I am willing to be of service through my creativity. Yeah, to the community, to a community, like, that's how I want to be. That's how I want to make people happier and feel more connected and be part of something. And if I can do that by being creative, which I feel like is the natural way I would want to do that, great. Love it. I am willing to experience my creative energy. That's so scary. That's so scary, like living in your own creative energy. See, I feel like every time I'm creative, people just worry that I'm manic. Because I have bipolar 2, and I really do believe, I think that creativity is like a dam breaking sometimes, and I'm scared of it, and I kind of want to, like, only have so much at a time because I'm afraid of losing myself into it, and that people are just going to reduce it to a manic state, and people won't appreciate my creative impulses. I think that's a good one. And number 20, I am willing to use my creative talents. I'm working on it. Okay, so we're gonna do the big three. The big three. The biggest one I felt like was my creativity leads me to forgiveness and self-forgiveness. That one's a whammy. Big whammy. One that's really hard for me is there's a divine plan of goodness for me and my work. I think I might want to sit with that more, see how I feel about it. And I am willing to experience my creative energy. I think those are my big three. I'm going to tell myself those 5 times every day, starting today. Bye.